I think the spin line is going to be, thank God it's not 2020.
Oh, yeah. It's been a harrowing year, yeah.
You know, it was really serendipitous that we lost our space with the country club rather than have to pull out ourselves and possibly pay some.
Well, the decision was made for us.
That's what I'm saying. But we would have made it anyways, but thank God we'd have to pay some type of a break of cancellation fee or something. So it really worked out in our favor.
Well, personally, I was holding on. I kept saying, oh, it's going to go past. It's going to go past. It's passing. And that everything will work better in Utah because your numbers were low. Not so in Utah. Nevada, we had spiked. And I thought, oh, you guys are low and it will fizzle out. But then I was glad the decision was made for us that they pulled out from us because then the burden didn't come upon us. And now as I've seen what's happening, I said that was really
the right decision.
No, it's going to be great. Willow Creek Country Club on Saturday night. It'll be a great event with a great buffet and a band with some that will pull out some of those old 70s hits that we loved back then.
70s and 80s music.
70s and 80s music. Yeah.
I listen to 80s music now.
Then Friday was going to be at Highland High School in the courtyard, walking around reminiscing about the different areas, fun things that had been going on back then. There's rumors that Highland in the next 7 years might be torn down. So we were looking forward to being able to have at least one more reunion where we can actually touch the walls. Now that could be something that doesn't happen, but they've run out of space in expanding the building itself. So similar to Skyline, we're just going to start over.
Well, I think the boundaries are different nowadays too versus when we were going to school. When we were going to school, they were set and you couldn't cross those boundaries. And now, if you have grandparents or you have work or something like that, the kids can transfer from school to school as they need. I was a dental assistant for a dentist over off of 21st South, and then Foxwell, a little store in CCMI Mall.
A clothing store?
A little clothing store.
Oh my God, age 14, I was washing dishes at Five Balls and McCarty's, bagging at Dan's Foods, scooping ice creams at Dan's Drugs, worked at the Jewish Community Center pool, remember those days, yeah. Worked in the summers at Mountaindale Golf Course. I
did too.
I was changing the cups. My job was a greenskeeper.
I was in the little cafeteria.
Oh, you were? Yeah, I was out changing cups.
I didn't know you were there.
Yeah,
That's been a fun job.
So yeah, I was always working. I mean, I'd go to school, I'd go home, I'd go to work, and I kept half the money, and half the money went to my mom.
I was working for a company that manufactured windows called Amsco. It was very factory, industrial, really not a fun high school job. Yeah, it was too busy. And then finally I got laid off, and the last 2 months of high school I was unemployed. I thought, why was I working at all? Why wasn't I just enjoying my senior year and literally getting out of school at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or noon and going off to work? This was what a waste. So the last 2 months, I kind of tried to make up for it.
But I started it at Wendy's, and I know Craig Smith was there. I know Mark Mavis Washington was there. There were several. There were a lot of us, and it was just brand new Wendy's. I was impressed at how much Highland had to offer. I was kind of a transplant. I came from California, and it was such a different environment. Whoa, it took me about 3 years to figure out Utah, really. And Highland, what I loved about it, it was so culturally strong. I mean, they desired to have music and drama and everything. They encouraged that.
So I showed up to Highland with these big old bell-bottom jeans and hair, and people looked at me like I had 3 nostrils. And,
well, yeah. I came in.
What year was it?
Yeah.
Freshman, 77. Yeah.
I came in jeans and t-shirt, straight hair. I had never seen curled hair in my life till I came to Utah. And I thought, what's going on? Is there a party? Or why is everybody dressed up? And I realized that that's how everybody looked.
Don't you remember when I moved here? Kids would leave their bikes on the front lawn, go to sleep, and wake up and the bikes are still there. Shocked the hell out of me.
I was more into the social scene than I was into the scholastical scene. Now look back on it and think, should have done things a little different.
I should have known what the ACT is before going into the test.
Kids, take AP classes.
I know, I had no idea. I remember walking to the library and just thinking it was one of those, tests they do every 4 years to make sure that your brain's still on your head. I had no idea it was admission to college. So did any of you ever be sent to the principal's office? Or you're all good kids? You're all good students?
Only to argue with, who was the vice principal then? Harwood. Only to argue with Harwood. It was
Over
always
what?
something, I don't know. He rubbed me wrong for some reason. We wanted to do something as cheerleaders, and he would always say no. Everything he said was no. Liability. It's a liability. You can't do that. No.
No, I was too afraid to get in trouble. I look back on it, it was a lot of awkward.
I remember most were late nights with the cheerleaders trying to come up with assembly ideas. We would be up until like 1 or 2 in the morning, and we would just be so punchy and just had a ball. Just trying to come up with ideas for the assembly.
They made a movie about the rugby team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Forever
so-
Strong.
At the time, I was doing some stuff with Gelwitz. And so he called me and says, "We're making this movie about the rugby team. You want to be part of it?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
So were you in it?
Well, yes and no. And here's where it gets funny. They shoot the scene. It's the scene where the kid gets in an accident with his girlfriend and he's in court getting reamed by that female judge. And my part was all rise. That was it. All rise. So I'm sitting there, all rise. They shoot it. Cut. You're looking the wrong way. Cut. You said this wrong. Cut. Your hand's in the wrong position. I'm like, Jesus, you're kidding me. And they shot the scene like 30 times. You sit down, watch the movie. My scene comes. My scene goes. No scene.
You're not in it?
So, literally, you see the side of my shoulder, and that's it, because I was standing next to the judge, right?
So what other teachers do you remember, Larry? Gelwitz and
Mr. C.
C.
Who was
Mr. Diamond, the woodshop teacher.
Yeah, Diamond. Who was the biology teacher? Mr. Chapel?
Yes.
To dissect cats?
Yes, and sharks and
Never
pigs.
dissecting the cats.
What
Yeah.
was the other dude? Was it Doc Brown? Doc Brown? You and I cheated off Rob Wilson the whole time?
Who was the physics teacher? I remember taking physics my senior year and seeing Speedo Man.
Oh,
Remember
yes.
Speedo Man?
Oh, yeah, the dude
Yeah,
at
he sat
Sugar
right
House
by
Park.
the window, and there's this guy in his little Speedo while he's all
Running around
tan,
Sugar House
running
Park.
around Sugar House Park. I'm like, what is that thing? The advantages kids have now today with electronics and all the information. You do paper, you'd have to go to find the encyclopedia, sing the life books and magazines and all that research you had to do.
Yeah, I do wish that we had had at least one computer class back in the day. Yeah, thinking back, if you go back, how much have I used that math class, or how much have I used Scanlon's AP English?
I
How
loved
much-
that class.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
That terrified me
That and her Latin.
because I knew there was a big test at the end.
Oh, she was tough, too.
She was tough.
I think AP classes back then were really hard. Like, you were smart if you were in AP class.
Well, I don't know. I must have
I
gone
never
under the
took
wire
any
because that wasn't
taking
me.
AP
But
classes.
You
I
worked your
remember
fanny
all the
off. I
smart
don't
kids
know.
were in
It
the
was
AP
hard.
classes.
I don't know if I've read so much Shakespeare since then. I mean, that was intense. But you know what? I loved the home economics classes that they don't have anymore. I thought it was fun to learn to cook and sew.
Oh, sewing was
watched.
I took sewing. I'd come back during the summer and do sewing classes.
sew and watch soap operas.
Yeah,
I used to do that too.
loved it.
With Catherine Young.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and I remember somebody sewing their finger through. I can't remember. In the middle of it, all of a sudden, this sewing machine
Oh.
went right through. So I'm really not into sewing machines anymore. Because I have that fear of Highland. You could design our reunion T-shirts.
We never got to.
COVID.
Did
It
we
would
ever
just
get to the
say
reunion
COVID.
T-shirt?
Yeah,
Stay
I don't think we ever
That
got
never
to it.
came
we
up.
need to get. We need to.
Yeah.
We never got to that point.
No, we didn't.
Well, we need two versions now. We need a long sleeve winter version, take us around the corner into the new year, and then more of the summer.
That would be fun. Yeah.
I loved high school.
I did too.
I know some people didn't, and I understand, but I loved high school.
Yeah.
You know, I hope by now we've all had enough life experiences that we can kind of process what happened and figure out what we learned from it. Hopefully we're a little kinder,
Yeah.
more tolerant, more accepting. I mean, that's my hope. You know, I don't want to live on regrets. You know, there's things I could have done better, but I love people.
I love meeting people again or seeing people again, like Dave and Bill. You know, that I didn't really know
Yeah.
about in high school. I mean, just learning about them and what they've done with their
It's
lives.
fun to hear the
super-
stories, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? The numbers of how many are in class is still up for debate because we've had so many come in and even junior, senior, but then not take a senior picture or some not leave their address. Everyone's had a different story. And I have felt that anybody that had been at any time of the 4 years should be a part of this. I've had people reach out to me that went to other high schools that said, you know, I was only there for freshman year, but I have such fond memories. Can I come? I said, of course. You know, bring whatever. This is all about anybody of the Highland community. And, you know, hopefully those people that maybe were a little shyer back then or whatever and felt, you know, I have made some great experiences since then and I want to reconnect and they're all on board now.
Well, and to share with us. I mean, I think
It is, you know, like I said, we've had life experiences
Yeah.
and we see those formative years as really important.
Kind of age, you know, it's all about you in high school and then in college, and then you get married, and it's all about the other person, and then you start having children. It's all about them,
It is.
and then now it's kind of like it's all about your surroundings and your meeting new people, getting to know, building those long-term relationships.
This year is the year that we've been able to have social media. That's been all the difference. Social media and computer websites. Because the reunions before, we were on the phone calling mother to find out where the daughter had moved to, and then they couldn't find their number. You know, it was just left so many messages and not hearing back. And there's nothing that distraught me more is to find out somebody that, why didn't you, I would have loved to have known. And I went, you do not know the effort that we didn't want anybody to be left out. Yeah, so I was looking through my high school journal this morning and laughing so hard at the terms we said. Oh, he's such a fox. So-and-so's going steady. What does that mean? Like, what's steady at high school?
Well, I think this coming, now that it's being postponed, that gives us more time to really get the word out